Welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. And of course, our esteemed speakers, I would like to welcome on stage as Head of Marketing Tech and Consumer Data, Nestle Indonesia, Citra Ramadhani. Can we have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Good afternoon, welcome. And also as General Manager of Digital CX Department, Hyundai Motors Indonesia, Muhammad Taufiqurrakhman. Please welcome on stage. Can we have a round of applause? And as Digital Solutions Director of dentsu, please welcome Nindya Ayu Saraswati. Can we have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Good afternoon, welcome once more. And here are your speakers for this afternoon. Please take it away.
Okay, first of all, I like to thank everyone for taking out time today to attend this session, which is likely to be about an intersection of technology and tradition, right? We'll get to hear from all these industry experts how they plan to incorporate AI to create meaningful campaigns for their audiences, especially during this sacred time of reflection, community, and generosity. Oh, by the way, guys, I used AI to write me a short introduction today, and this was it. Just raise of hands, how many of you actually have used AI some way? Just raise of hands.
Maybe besides ChatGPT.
Quite few.
Wow, that's a good number, guys. I see already AI entering into your lives. So without any further delays, what I'll do is I'll straight jump into this conversation and try and make it interesting for you. We have a whole flow of questions where you'll understand how important it is and how to incorporate AI, etc., etc. So, Chitra, my first question is to you, actually. There is a research, and Shanti actually mentioned when she was speaking about how consumer spending is about to go up by 60%. I read a different number, I'm sorry, but it was around 86%, and that's huge, right? That's huge. So, Chitra, how do you leverage this kind of data, and how crucial do you think AI is, in terms of using this data, or anyway, how crucial is AI?
Okay, so thank you for the question. So I would start with basically for any technology out there, basically it will help us, right, to in life, basically. And personally, when it comes to AI, is it something that is crucial? I would say it depends on how you see it. I do believe technology out there is really helping us. For instance, when it comes to decision of putting the right marketing approach with AI, I would ask to myself, will this AI helping my brand to communicate out of the clutter? That's one, basically. And then second, is it gonna drive relevancy when it comes to your brand, your message, and audiences? And then lastly, I'm asking to myself, am I driving personalizations? I think that three questions we need to ask ourselves. And whether we see AI powered or machine learning, whatever it's there, will help us basically in marketing. Brilliant. So that's just some tips from me. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think bang on, and because you spoke about how important it is and how crucial it is to understand exactly what AI has to offer. So my next question, Taufiq, is to you actually, and just continuing on, I'll be throwing a little numbers, guys, here and there. There is a research which says auto is set to expect a 25% increase in searches during this period. How do you use these data insights, and is there a role for AI to play in it?
Well, the case might be a little bit different if you're talking about automotive. If we are going back to the basic insight of Ramadan, people tend to stay home, people tend to pray more, people tend to, do more charity and everything. They do a lot of great things, but definitely not going to a car dealer to do a test drive. That's not one of the things that people do during Ramadan. So that will be our issue on Ramadan. We always have this decreased numbers of test drive, which it is crucial if we're talking about automotive sales, right? That's why, unfortunately, I cannot yet spill this, but for this year, we're going to do a partnership. We're going to collaborate with one of the Indonesia biggest tech company, if I may say that. So that's how we are going to engage with, all of those data. Wow. We are going to utilize those data to do better, relevance, to create better relevance, to create better contents, those kind of things. And also, I think so going back to your questions, I think it's all about the data. If we're talking about automotive industry, then we are actually an old-fashioned industry. We sell cars, we don't do data. If you're talking about our customer data, then we do have. But if you're talking about the potential customer data, that is something that we need to work on. That's why these collaborations happen. No. We need to improve on acquiring those potential customers.
Understand. So we understand how crucial it is, and how you plan to use data insights, even though you've not spilled the beans, but but you surely have something in mind that you have already built and started working on. So, Ayu, my next question is to you. I understand how difficult it can be to match clients' expectations at all times, but also at the same time you have to do it right. Do you see a role of AI in terms of tailoring campaigns or optimization? And I'm asking you this question right now is also because there's so much cultural sensitivities, right? So that's the question for you.
Okay, thanks, Chaitanya. Maybe before I'm sharing my perspective about, the role of AI itself in tailoring the Ramadan campaign, I would like to maybe share a couple of challenges, especially during the planning process, specifically the audience planning process. First, we've been actually hearing about, the best practice to set broader audience for our campaigns on digital platforms. I agree on that. It's based on, study globally. And actually, it's relevant for our upper funnel campaigns. However, this luxury from many campaigns, from many advertisers at dentsu, we've been actually seeing this luxury is not for everyone. It's not for, all advertisers. Unfortunately, due to the budget constraints. Yeah, I hope actually all the advertisers here have unlimited budget there. However, in fact, at the end, we still need to, play with the targeting options to have the audience profiles. And I will go to the second challenge. On the other hand, we have also observed that actually there are limitations from the targeting capabilities of each platforms. We compared one to another. So after having, the beautiful, the comprehensive audience profiles with the persona, actually the next question is how to translate that beautiful audience profiles into the targeting strategy on dashboard, whether it's using demography, of course, interests, behavioral, contextual, and so on and so forth. So again, the role of AI is, for me, from my perspective, the goal is actually to, bring the whole pieces together to solve this ideally. Gitu. For instance, from the one that I shared earlier about the audience targeting limitations, we saw there are solutions that can help us actually to have advanced targeting capabilities. For instance, it's contextual intelligence with, computer vision, with AI. We can actually also target not only based on, the keywords and topic for contextual, but we can also do with faces from our brand ambassadors, with objects and events, emotions. But again, what I also want to acknowledge here is that from agency's perspective, we believe that we also need to, find the right balance between having this experimental or explorations and also ensuring the effectiveness and efficiency of our platform, because that's one thing that our clients also, expect. Yeah.
Absolutely. I like how you call this a luxury. At this moment, I think it is a luxury to be able to use AI. Anyway, I'll go in circles now, again coming to you, Chitra. And again, a number that I have in my mind. I spoke to Taufiq about 25% increase in searches with respect to auto, and it's also because of the category. But CPG is going to witness a 66% increase in searches. How do you see that, and how do you deal with these changing consumer behaviors?
Take it. This is the time for us in the F&B industry that we need to basically, rip the revenue, right? Basically, we work on insight, and we all know when it comes to Ramadan spending, especially on food, it can increase maybe 2 or 3 times, right? I mean, not just spending, but also the behavior itself. For instance, everyone, because, they try to find time to, basically cannot eat, so they can, watch YouTube, for instance. Or they watch a short video, content, even recipe, food recipe, and they sometimes, even for me, I watch a lot of influencer as well, basically, right? So I guess this type of behavior is where we as a company need to really understand. That's the behavior. We know screen time is increasing, gadget time is increasing, and then certain data also rising, like recipe, sahur, berbuka puasa, even make up for iftar. So all of those things that we need to really digest and build upon a strategy. I think what you mentioned with all of this, how then we try to create that relevancy, right? I guess, again, this is where the AI power will really helping us to understand combining that behavior, the rises of the behavior, and also combining the consumer insight. Maybe, for instance, one of our brand is condensed milk, and like it or not, condensed milk, suddenly people look for it, right? They want to cook. And then we see this is a very potential time for us, let's just call it the power period, for us to really drive our brand within the Ramadan. So this type of thing that, let's say, we want to build upon relevancy towards cooking images or recipe content and so on and so forth. That is something, example that we can do basically in an FMB. So yeah, it is the time for us basically.
Absolutely. I think relevancy comes on top again. Because we are talking about relevancy, and Chitra, I think, has been talking about relevancy, and it is, of course, important. And that's the use of AI, right? So my question is to you, Ayu. We spoke about relevancy. We spoke about how crucial it is. We spoke about how to use it. What role does AI play for you in terms of personalization? Because it is important, right? You send the right message at the right time, and you tweak it depending on what the consumer is consuming.
Interesting, yeah. Especially for personalizations itself. Actually, the concept of these personalizations maybe has been around since 8-9 years ago, yeah. So it's not new, actually. Yeah. And I still remember one of the memorable campaigns at that time, like 9 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, from McDonald's. They have run a campaign, Breakfast with McD, with so many materials because they want to deliver different message with different language in different regions at that time. And the implementations was quite complex. I discussed with the media agency, and the implementations, it's very complex. And if we look at the AI-driven tools that are available nowadays, we can see there are so many tools that can help us to simplify that personalizations process. Maybe I can mention some, the newest tools in the markets. For instance, like for Google's, they are also having this trimming video by AI, since the short form video, based on what Bapak Rian juga tadi mentioned about the short form video, it's important. Second one is maybe from TikTok. They just launched the TikTok Creative Assistant. It's a bot that can actually help creators and brands, to in the creative creation journey, to brainstorm, to gather the best practice from specific brands. And if we look at the programmatic ecosystem, again, about the attention time, there are APAC partners that can help us to build the creative automatically generated by AI to increase the attention time. As mentioned in the previous stations, attention time is actually getting shorter and shorter. So again, it's important, but actually the other questions about this role of AI in the personalizations is, again, what is the right balance, And because we also saw actually the greater performance from utilizing these tools. And also with, the lower rates, but one approach or one strategy or one tools cannot fit to all advertisers.
Interesting. I think because you mentioned balance. My next question is to you, Taufiq, actually. And, AI's goodness actually will depend on what you actually input into the AI, right? It's going to give you what you want from it. How do you think there's a role for AI in terms of measuring success for a campaign or maybe derive insights?
Yeah, I think let's go back to the basic. I mean, like at the end of the day, will this campaign help me drive my objectives, right? So we always, most of the time, all of those technology, AI, automation, chatbots and everything, it's actually, all those flashy things are actually, most of the time it's all us. But at the end of the day, just like you mentioned, that the objective of utilizing AI and automations and many things is to create the relevancy, right? If we create those relevancy, then it's definitely, if we're focusing on the customer perspective, we can give them, a seamless and delightful experience towards our brand. At the end of the day, the measurement will be how effective, how, at the end of the day, your boss will ask you how much money you can save by utilizing this AI, right? But it makes sense, right? At the end of the day. But again, I think we need to go back to the actual objective of utilizing those things. We can always have a broad, audience. We can always have so many creatives and everything. But if the performance the same if you don't use AI, then what's the use? I mean, like those relevancy, will it improve our CTR? Will it lower down our cost per leads probably? Or will it improve our ROI or ROAS and those kind of things? I think that would be the key measurement that we need to always keep an eye on.
Absolutely. You called it a luxury, so it better give you ROAS much better than.
Yeah. And then if we have an extra money, then we can do all of those fancy things, right?
Got it. I think we have been hearing about challenges and possible challenges from Ayu. But this question is for you, Citra. And because we've been talking a lot of good things and a lot of, things that fall into the gray area about AI, we would love to understand what do you think are the challenges when it comes to AI?
Okay. I guess when it comes to challenges in the whole AI and digital landscape, there are many contents out there, like big contents. And the thing is with AI, this is a machine, like it still needs our touch, a human intelligence. What I'm trying to say is when it comes to a big content out there, on our end, we need to also be careful when we want to put relevancy of our brand within the landscape of digital. That's why I would say the challenges is really to understand how we build that brand safety. That is very important, the brand safety, because again, many content out there, relevancy is correct, but then how we make sure that our brand is appear in the right context within the content that you want to build upon. So I think it's very important for us to work with the right partner. I would say the right partner of a AI provider, of course. But also, I would give a suggestion as a principal company as well. Have a third party, brand safety partner. So it's gonna help us as well. And then secondly, I wouldn't say challenges, more of a what's in it for us. Work as agencies and partners as well is collaborations. By the end of it, the most important is how we can have a better ways of working as a client, how we then have a much clearer objective, and then as a, media agencies and then, partners as well, how you can then give us solutions on all of this, basically. That's my 2 bits.
Got it. AI still needs validation for sure.
Of course.
So, last question, guys, and this is for all 3 of you. And I'll start with Ayu first. I saw a lot of hands when I asked them who all are using AI, maybe 50-60%. But there's still, I think, 40% of people who are waiting to use AI and who are waiting to incorporate AI for the first time in their campaigns. What do you suggest? Do you have any do's and don'ts for their first campaign?
Hopefully it doesn't sound so very cliche. But
budget. No budget.
Budget, of course. Yeah, I
That's
already
should
mentioned
be the last. Should be the last.
about that.
What will be the first one?
It will be more cliche. But yeah, from my perspective, it's really important to have the learning mindset. Because, there's so many technologies coming. We can see from the past 2 years lah. Gitu. So many technologies with different, solutions. So keep the learning mindset. We know that we cannot, try or the luxury to have all the, solutions or try to the all new platforms at one time. But what I want to emphasize is the learning mindset is important. It's important to have small budget for A/B testing, for learning, so we can, start having the improvements from our any previous campaigns. There are so many metrics that we also need to consider right now. Like previously, it's only maybe viewability. Right now, we have attentions. And then so we also have the attention economy white paper last year because it's new measurements. So to, have more understanding on the every new metrics, new measurements that will be coming, it's really important to have the learning mindset.
Interesting. Taufiq?
Before jumping into AI, I think we need to understand from the customer perspective again. Before we are setting all those, fancy automation flows, all those, creative AI and everything, we need to make sure that we are actually having a good blueprints of the customer experience itself, because we want to make sure that the one that we are going to do with AI is to improve the relevancy, which if we do things that is not based on our customers, then it probably will go into waste, right? So I think we need to understand our customers first, put them as the center of our plans, and then we can, it's like a puzzle. We have so many technologies and everything, and then you can just, simply do some mix and match, and definitely do some A/B testing, small budget, and then, of course, scale it up. It will be easy.
Got it. Citra?
I couldn't agree more. Basically, if I can summarize the right mindset, you need to put consumer at heart, basically. And you need to have the right measurement. That's all. I'm recapping for you, by the way, Shati.
I was about to say you ended the session, actually. But yeah, thank you guys. That is it. That is what we wanted to talk about today. I hope it was useful. You can catch all 4 of us here anywhere. We are here, not leaving till, I think, 4 or 5 p.m., till the time you guys are leaving. So thank you so much. You've been a brilliant audience. And yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, speakers. We'd like to invite you to stay on stage, maybe stand in front of the table for a photo op with all of our speakers and moderator, Mr. Chaitanya.